Washington. The federal government entered a partial shutdown Saturday as a key vote fell far short of the support needed to pass the Senate, and the midnight deadline came and went without a deal. 1 year to the day since President Donald Trump took office, flanked by a Republican Congress, Washington waited for word of where it goes from here as both parties sought a way out of the impasse. The proposal that failed was the one passed by the House on Thursday. It would have funded the government until Feb. 16, extended the Low-Income Children's Health Insurance Program, or CHIP, for 6 years and suspended some Obamacare taxes for 2 years. Senate Democrats, demanding progress on the fate of the young immigrants covered by the DACA program, withheld their support for the bill after the prospect of an agreement with Republicans and the White House fell apart. But Republicans failed to assemble a simple majority for the measure, as some within their own ranks, frustrated with a spate of month-long spending bills, also opposed the short-term solution. Meanwhile, as agencies began sending emails announcing their closure or limited capability, the White House released a statement just before midnight, saying Senate Democrats own the Schumer shutdown. We will not negotiate the status of unlawful immigrants while Democrats hold our lawful citizens hostage over their reckless demands. This is the behavior of obstructionist losers, not legislators, White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders said in a statement. This is the 1-year anniversary of my presidency and the Democrats wanted to give me a nice present. Democrat shutdown. Donald J. Trump at Real. Donald Trump. January 20, 2018. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, R. Kentucky, gave a fiery floor speech, saying the shutdown was 100% preventable and blaming the Democrats. Democrats placed the blame on Republicans and Trump for walking away from negotiations. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, D. New York, blamed Trump for being a slippery and unreliable negotiating partner. What will it take to get Trump to say yes? Schumer asked. Schumer presented a proposal to break the logjam to Trump in a midday meeting over cheeseburgers at the White House, according to multiple Democrats, a plan to fund the government over the next 2 years, including money for disaster aid, the Low-Income Children's Health Insurance Program, opioid funding, border security and relief for those dreamers covered by DACA. I even put the border wall on the table, Schumer said. But when Schumer left the meeting, the concept started to unravel when McConnell and Trump's chief of staff John Kelly opposed it, according to a person familiar with the situation. Schumer also proposed a shorter stopgap measure, lasting just a few days, to be used as a hard deadline on an agreement on government spending levels, DACA, border security, disaster aid and children's health care. We're inside the 10-yard line on 5 issues. We need a process to close the deal. And we need the president to do it. Sen. Lindsey Graham, who helped to block the funding bill, said. After the public blame game and with the government closed, McConnell stood at his podium and said HES open to a stopgap spending measure to Feb. 8, which is a possible route to reopen the government. A late flurry of activity on the Senate floor suggested a last-minute deal to avert a shutdown may have been close. Senate huddle moments before the government shutdown on Jan. 20, 2018. MSNBC. Sen. Jeff Flake, Rares, claimed McConnell had committed to a vote on immigration by February 8 regardless of White House support. That's the key tonight, said Flake, who was a part of a bipartisan group of senators that reached a deal last week to provide a path to citizenship for many of those covered by DACA alongside border security that met the White House's previous request, only to see it rejected by the president in a foul-mouthed meeting. Before it was, I had the commitment to have a vote, but then it morphed into you'll have a vote on something the president supports. We want a commitment from the president, said Flake. Tonight that linkage is broken, gratefully, because let's face it, we can't get a straight answer from the White House. The Senate will reconvene at noon on Saturday. The House, which passed the funding bill Thursday night but stayed in town, will come into session on Saturday, putting out a release that votes are expected. It's the first shutdown since 2013 when a Democrat, Barack Obama, was the president and Republicans controlled Congress. With the finger pointing over who would be responsible already underway, a new ABC News Washington Post poll found that 48% of Americans would blame President Trump and Republicans for a shutdown, while 28% said they would blame Democrats and 18% said both parties would be at fault.